I'm Mary McDonald, Consortium Clinical Coordinator for the Nursing Clinical Placement District in Washington State. Many years ago, a group of nursing educators met, discussed, and implemented a clinical placement process. Today, 14 years later, this model is being introduced statewide. I invite you to listen to this group of remarkable individuals who have dedicated themselves to nursing and to quality health care in our state.
My name is Kim Nichols-Resowitz, and I was the nursing program chair at Olympic College from 1990 to 1993, at which time I moved to Tacoma Community College and was the nursing program chair from 93 to 2000. So I was involved in the Clinical Placement Consortium from its inception, which was in 1994. But leading up to that time, there were many conversations between myself and my colleagues at local community colleges in the Tacoma area, Puget Sound area, where we were having lots of issues around placing our students in the various clinical sites, overlapping with other students from other colleges, clinical sites not being aware that we were supposed to be coming with our students, not having orientations ready, not knowing what days and times we were going to be there on what units, any number of problems that we came up with, and decided to organize ourselves into a group to work collaboratively between the various colleges and try to come up with a system that worked better for the colleges as well as the clinical agencies. And thus the Clinical Placement Consortium was born.
I'm Jeff Bonnell, and I was the director at the Bates Technical College LPN program back in 1991, and I left there in August of 2000. Just as Kim has mentioned, there were a lot of issues regarding clinical placements. Limited clinical spaces, lots of students, instructors would show up with a group of students on a particular unit, only to find that there was a group of students already there from a different college, and that group was from a different college out of this area. My role seemed to be, as this was coming about, and we were working with Dahlia Langen, Sharon Fox, Clover Park Technical College, which was Sheila Riley at the time, and we're all kind of talking, and we're all agreeing, let's come together and try to work a solution so that we could be more organized and not have this going on all the time. At the very same time, one of my faculty from Bates Technical College had just come back from a seminar down in Long Beach, California, and brought this wonderful model of the Long Beach Orange County Consortium for Clinical Placement. This is a model that might work for us up here. At one of our get-togethers, one of our meetings, I presented the model, and everybody looked at the model, and lo and behold, said, hey, this is a great starting point. Here's a grid that lists all of the colleges with all of the facilities, and it indicates how many students on each unit, which days of the week, and maybe we could do something like that, and maybe we can have some sort of a master goal with some ideas about how we're going to arrange this. Dorothy Langen really was kind of the spear leader, I would say, for this whole get-together. We would meet at PLU, and Dorothy was quite generous in letting us use her secretary to put this all on a computer so that we would have a grid that would be easier to adjust on an annual basis. That's kind of how it all started.
Several different colleges that got together in that first round. There was PLU, Bates, Clover Park, Tacoma, South Puget Sound, and Highline, as I recall.
And UW-Tacoma.
And UW-Tacoma, right. And we developed an organizing system. We had rules for who was in and who was out and how those decisions were going to be made. But the bottom line is that we coordinated amongst the programs first. We said, this is what I want. These are the days, the clinical units, etc., and we put it all on the grid. And then it went where there were conflicts or duplications, we negotiated amongst ourselves. And then after we had it all organized and together, then we sent it out to the clinical agencies. And that was another big hurdle because they didn't necessarily understand what this grid was or how to interpret it or what it meant. And
Dorothy Langen took the lead on that, and she had a wonderful cover letter explaining what this consortium was about, what the purpose was, what we were trying to do.
But after they got on board with it, then they appreciated the fact that we had coordinated amongst ourselves and then presented it to them. But I think the reason that it worked in those early days is because we had great relationships amongst ourselves as program directors, and then we all had good relationships with the clinical sites. But overall, we had established those relationships, and that rapport is what made it work. And in those early days, as Jeff mentioned, Dottie Langen's secretary did manage the grids for the first several years, but after a while, that wasn't an option for us anymore. We got to do it ourselves, and that was just part of our job, part of what we did, how we managed clinicals.
Late Friday afternoon telephone calls.
Yes.
And Kim was always on the phone late afternoon, and she was always calling me late afternoon because we were the only ones.
We knew that we were going to be in our offices and nobody else was. That's true. Yeah. And it actually was really a fun time to meet with everybody once a month because not only were we doing clinical placement stuff, but there was a lot of camaraderie that happened. That was a really important piece of what we gained, I think, out of it over the years. So that continued on for several years, and after time, it was really pretty well organized, and we knew there was a routine to it, and the clinical agencies had bought into it at that point, too.
Because we had good camaraderie among the directors and all the program deans, we wanted to somehow get that camaraderie passed on to all the faculty that were out in the clinical agencies. So we thought an organizational effectiveness approach was the way to go. So we actually had an organizational effectiveness individual conduct a seminar for all the faculty to kind of get them to buy into what this clinical consortium was trying to do. That was kind of, I think, our first big public meeting.
Right.
And then we felt we needed to extend that out into the public to get the clinical agencies to attend in a very friendly meeting with food. And food always works.
So initially we had no funding. We just did this voluntarily out of the goodness of our hearts because we recognized the need, and we just took it on as part of our regular jobs.
Summer of 2002 is where I get to come in. My name is Julie Benson, and I was a community healthcare member, and I was hired into this grant-funded position to be the clinical consortium coordinator. So the volume of work required to maintain the grids, facilitate meetings, was getting in the way of the ability of the chair to perform their normal duties. So they wrote a grant, and I believe Sue Ford and Pat Brown were instrumental in that grant writing. And they did obtain funding for a full-time clinical consortium coordinator. And I was the person to fill that role. My role was to facilitate smooth clinical placement for not only the schools but also for the organizations, because it can cause a lot of conflict from an organization standpoint. So that was one of the key things. Also development or reinstating some of the rules that had been developed when Kim was there. They've kind of gotten pushed to the background. So setting up the bylaws again and reinforcing those, and then also giving some consequences if you don't abide by what the organization was trying to do. And so we also set up meetings. So we went back because they were only meeting on like a quarterly basis at that point. So the meetings weren't happening regularly because of the time. And we started back on monthly meetings and increasing communication between the different groups so everyone could see that they were all struggling with some of the same issues, and maybe we could come up with some solutions that would help for not only themselves but also for the whole group. Part of that communication piece was how do we communicate the grids, how do we communicate standardization of some health requirements, because that was causing some difficulties for all the different schools. We're getting different requirements from different facilities. And so we created the Nursing Clinical Placement District number 1 and also the website. And we started in on creating our health requirements such as HIPAA protocol, so we have a standardized HIPAA education plan for all the facilities. And then we also incorporated some new members to Clinical District number 1, including Peninsula, Centralia, and Grace Harbor. That's pretty much what we did. So really my role was a lot in organizing and knowing what we had learned from the past, what these guys had done, and knowing where we wanted to go in the future. And one of the other primary roles that we did is we did have 2 big educational opportunities offered. The first one was with Nancy Fugate Woods, looking at where nursing was going and how we wanted to be able to direct that and work together. And then the second one was a technology conference in nursing, which was held at Madigan and was supported by all members of the community. I think I felt my role was helping people see other people's positions and letting them understand that we're all in this to produce a quality product. Great nursing students. That would be my take on things.
Welcome. Today we're gathered to talk about the Clinical Placement District number 1, which has been in existence since 1992. I'm Marilyn Adair. I am currently the chairperson of this organization. I'm also Director of Nursing at South Puget Sound Community College, and we're just going to talk today about our clinical placement and what it means.
As Clinical Placement Coordinator for Nursing Clinical Placement 1, I function as the single point of contact between education and industry. My goal is actually working to build and foster relationships between the nursing education program and our industry partners. Nursing Clinical Placement District 1 consists of 15 nursing programs from Peninsula College in Port Angeles south to Lower Columbia College in Longview, Washington. This group of nursing educators historically has worked collaboratively. This is indeed a very exciting time for nursing.
I would say one of the main things that we do as a clinical placement is to try to ensure that the clinical experiences for nursing students from all the representative programs are planned and coordinated to ensure that students get exact experiences that they need. We've now developed grids that allow for a very automatic process in terms of planning, of coordination, of communicating very easily with both facilities as well as the membership school. Without this ability, it would have been an expansion much more difficult.
The strength of this membership consortium, I think you would agree, Marilyn, is that we get together every month throughout the year. And we come together and we discuss our placement concerns, how we can facilitate this expansion, how we can work together, and just the issues that surround